following the agenda. So our agenda opening, a reminder about this is a public service announcement. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy has issued executive orders limiting the size of public gatherings. The City Council will meet today with all voting members of the City Council remotely by telephonic conferencing system. We'll have approval of the minutes, we hope. Report of correspondence by City Clerk. We have no public hearings. We have no ordinances on second reading. We have ordinances for discussion on first reading. Number 1, an ordinance to grant an easement into the City of New Brunswick's right-of-way along Redmond Street and Remsen Avenue, Block 140, Lot 4.01. We have number 2, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 5, Business Licenses and Regulations, Chapter 5.80, Rent Control, various sections. We have ordinances on second reading. Number 3, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 15, Buildings and Construction, Chapter 1540, Periodic Inspection, in regards to amending Section 1540-80, Fees. Number 4, an ordinance of the City of New Brunswick, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, providing for a special emergency appropriation pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-53M in the amount of $6,750,000 to fund a deficit in operations. We have resolutions then, numbers 1 through 28. Number 1, approve agenda amendments. 2, approve payroll 10/17/20 to 10/30/20. 3, authorize refund for redeemed tax sale certificates. 4, authorize professional service agreement with Feinstein and Malloy LLC for the matter of Mo Geo LLC versus the City of New Brunswick, not to exceed $7,500. Number 5, approve award of contract with 72 Hour LLC, doing business as the National Auto Fleet Group, Chevrolet of Watsonville, for 1 dump truck for the Department of Public Works, not to exceed $176,184. Sourcewell, formerly the National Joint Powers Alliance, NJPA. 6, authorized purchase by Division of Animal Control under New Jersey State Approved Co-op, number 65 MCES-CCPS, the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey pricing system, from United Ford LLC for 1 2021 Ford F-350 pickup truck with options not to exceed $33,753.14. Number 7, authorized purchase by Division of Parks and Shade Trees under New Jersey State Approved Co-op, number 65 MCES-CCPS, the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey pricing system, from Store Tractor Company for 1 ride-on lawnmower, not to exceed $66,846.40. Number 8, authorized professional service agreement to Garden State Veterinary Services for after-hours emergency veterinarian services, Division of Animal Control, the 12-month period commencing November 5th, 2020 and ending November 4th, 2021, not to exceed $1,000. Resolution number 9, authorized purchase by Division of Parks and Shade Trees under New Jersey State Approved Co-op, number 65 MCES-CCPS, the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey pricing system, from W.E. Timberland County Company Incorporated for 1 aerial lift truck not to exceed $137,796.91. Number 10, approve request for use of city property, sidewalk only, requested by the Community Baptist Church, sidewalk in front of the train station, for clothing giveaway and gift cards to Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's to the needy and homeless of the community, Saturday, December 12th, 2020. The rain date is Saturday, December 19th, 2020, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Number 11, rescind resolution R061942 for New Brunswick Cultural Center Incorporated, the liquor license number 121433002-009. 12, approve award of contract Nexus Risk Solutions for online access to accident reports for the police department. Term is a 12-month period commencing November 19th, 2020 and ending November 18th, 2021. Specification number 859-20 RFP, fair and open. 13, approve amendment of resolution R042004. The reason additional amount of $1,706.86 for the water utility with Garden State Laboratories Incorporated, laboratory analysis for the water utility not to exceed $1,786. 14, authorize renewal of interlocal service contract agreement with Middlesex County Department of Public Safety and Health for public health services and programs, January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021, not to exceed $261,499 15, approve resolution to provide police traffic control officer allocation for Jersey Avenue water main upgrade, specification number 86320W, not to exceed $25,000. 16, approve amendment of resolution R091905, reason additional amount of $121.58 to pay outstanding invoices with Baker & Taylor, LLC, a subsidiary of BTAC Acquisition Corporation, for books purchased from a wholesale distributor for the New Brunswick Public Library, specification number 774-19 RFP, not to exceed $121.58. Number 17, approve award of contract with Firehouse Innovations Corporation for a proprietary training apparatus for the fire department, not to exceed $7,275. 18, approve amendment of resolution R082021, reason additional $70,000 to pay outstanding invoices for specialized legal services with Hoagland Longo Moran Dunstan Dugas LLP for 2020 Special Counsel for Tax Appeals, Division of Assessments, not to exceed $70,000. Number 19, approve authorization to advertise for 2018 water main replacements, Phase 2, Joyce Kilmer Avenue, specification number 88720W. Number 20, approve relaxation of the city noise ordinance and road closure, requested by Crown Castle Fiber to install fiber optic cable to 108 Church Street. The road closure would be Church Street from Spring Street to George Street, Thursday, November 12th, 2020 at 10 p.m. to Friday, November 13th, 2020 by 6 a.m. Number 21, approve relaxation of the city noise ordinance and road closure, requested by PGM Mechanical Contractors Incorporated, reason to place a crane at Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital for the purpose of placing HVAC equipment on the roof. Crane placed on Somerset Street. Road closure is Somerset Street from Hardenberg Street to Division Street, Saturday, November 21st, 2020. The alternate date is Saturday, December 5th, 2020, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. 22, release of site performance guarantee in the amount of $17,127.36 and balance of site inspection fees of $652.29 to James Pagano, 49 Bartlett Street, Block 7, Lot 7.01. 23, approve amendment of resolution R062011. The reason release of site inspection fees in the amount of $6,899.97, along with accrued interest to 986 Jersey Avenue, LLC, in care of Wick Companies, LLC, for 986 Jersey Avenue, Block 598, Lot 6. Number 24, approve request for use of city property by the New Brunswick Cultural Center. Location is Monument Square Park for Day of the Dead, Dia de Muertos Community Altar, Saturday, November 7th, 2020. Park uses is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Setting up is 9 a.m. to 11. Viewing 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Cleanup and dismantling is 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. 25, approved purchase by the Division of Parks and Shade Trees under New Jersey State Contract 83010/10-2080. Trucks, 26,000 LB at 26,000 pounds. GVWR, maximum cab over, conventional cab and chassis with an 18-foot stake dry van, refrigerated van bodies, and 3,000-pound capacity lift gate, rail gate statewide, with HK Truck Services Incorporated for one 2021 garbage truck, not to exceed $122,360. 26, approve temporary closure of George Street between Albany Street and Bayard Street, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 24/7, from Monday, November 9th, 2020 through Sunday, January 3rd, 2021. The reason is to provide outdoor seating for restaurants. 27, approve placement of lien for cleanup of property 133 Jones Avenue, Block 212, Lot 1.01, in the amount of $2,575. 28, a resolution approving the certification of the Chief Financial Officer as to the deficit in operations of the City of New Brunswick, County of Middlesex, New Jersey, pursuant to NJSA 40A 4-53M, and approving the submission of an application to the Director of the Division of Local Government Services in connection with the proposed funding of such deficit through a special emergency appropriation of the city. We have items for discussion by council. We also have the OEM COVID-19 update, and we also have a proposed 2021 City Council meeting schedule. We will then have public comment, and that should take care of it until our next meeting, November 18th. All right. At this time, we will call meeting to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Egan. Councilmember
Egan,
Escobar.
Here.
Councilmember Fleming.
Here.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Here.
Councilmember Egan.
Unmuted.
He might have stepped away.
Right, he was here.
Yeah. Council President Anderson.
Here. We have the Open Public Meeting Act statement. Please be advised that
Muted.
the requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act have complied with and satisfied, and that the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice of the time and place and conduct of all public meetings of the Municipal Council of the City of New Brunswick, has been filed with the City Clerk, has been placed on the appropriate bulletin board and posted in the back vestibule of City Hall, visible to the public through the windows in the lobby of City Hall, New Brunswick, New Jersey, has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the City of New Brunswick, namely the Home News Tribune. Additionally, a 48-hour notice of the time, place, and manner of conducting this meeting has been made by the City Clerk on November 2nd, 2020, as required by law. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy has issued executive orders limiting the size of public gatherings. The City Council is meeting today with all voting members of the City Council remotely by telephonic conferencing system. The City Council intends to meet on a regular schedule and will meet the guidelines of the Open Public Meetings Act by utilizing teleconferencing systems. Public participation at meetings has been revised, and the public may participate through a conference call system. The public is encouraged to call into the conference call system through the phone numbers and access codes transmitted in the 48-hour notice and posted in the back of the vestibule of City Hall, visible to the public through the windows. Also, some city employees will also be available via the conference call during this meeting as well. All on the conference call have the opportunity to hear the City Council meeting. During the portions of the meeting that are not open for public comment, all callers from the public will be muted, and the council will not be able to hear any public comment through the conference call system. During the public comment periods, those on the conference call lines who have interest in addressing the council will first be organized by last name and called upon to speak. After all organized members of the public speak, and they are to speak portion. A timer will chime at the completion of each 5-minute period, and I'll notify you that your time has expired. Public needing assistance accessing the call-in number should call City Hall at 732-745-5007. Would you please stand if you are able for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you would remain standing for a moment of silence for our men and women in our armed forces, those serving here and abroad, especially those in combat. More importantly, we remember those that are hurt, those who have given the ultimate sacrifice of their lives, and remember them all around the world. Thank you.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes from September 16th. Kevin Egan. Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. We have no public hearings. We have no ordinances on discussion for a second reading. We have 4 ordinances on first reading. Number 1, an ordinance to grant an easement into the City of New Brunswick's right-of-way along Redmond Street and Remsen Avenue, Block 140, Lot 4.01.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, November 18th, 5:30 p.m., same date to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. Number 2, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 5, Business Licenses and Regulations, Chapter 580, Rent Control, in regards to various sections.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, November 18th, 5:30 p.m., same date to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. Number 3, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 15, Buildings and Construction, Chapter 1540, Periodic Inspection, in regards to amending Section 154080 in regards to fees.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, November 18th, 5:30 p.m., same date to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. Number 4, an ordinance of the City of New Brunswick, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, providing for a special emergency appropriation pursuant to NJSA 40A 4-53M in the amount of $6,750,000 to fund a deficit in operations.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, November 18th, 5:30 p.m., same date to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. We have resolutions 1 through 28. At this time, we are preparing to open the meeting to public comment on the resolutions only for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up, in order to assure that the City Council can hear from the interested public and that the public can hear public comment. I will organize the speakers in order by last name. In a moment, I will unmute the public call-in. At that time, I'll ask you to provide me with your last name, and we'll go from A to Z this week, the first meeting of the month. After asking 3 times, I will then close the public comment portion. Again, please be mindful that your voice is being telephonically transmitted and to speak slowly and clearly for the benefit of all. I will ask that you please remain silent when I initially unmute the phone so that we can all hear each other and then begin the speaker registration process. Again, as a reminder, all other members of the public will be muted in order to assure that City Council can clearly hear and understand the recognized speaker. So we'll start putting our list together. Again, if your last name begins with this letter, please just shout it out and we'll put you on the list.
Unmuted.
Anyone with the last names A, B, C that would like to speak on the resolutions only, shout out your last name. About D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L.
Charlie Cradaville.
Thank you, Mr. Cradaville. M, N, and O.
Danielle Moore.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. O, P, Q, R. S, T, U, V. W, X, Y, and Z. I'll ask for a second time. Anybody with the last names A through Z that is not already on the list and would like to talk about the resolutions? And for a third time, anyone last names A through Z that would like to talk on the resolutions, please call out your last name at this time. All right, we have our list then. Madam Clerk, our first speaker would be?
Council President, the first speaker on the list is Mr. Charlie Cradaville.
Thank you. Mr. Cradaville, you're up. Your name and address just for the record.
Muted.
Good evening, Charles Cradaville, live on Saddam Street in the 2nd Ward, just like you. And I'd like to ask about Resolution 11, the Cultural Center liquor license being rescinded. Can you give me a little insight as to why that's happening right now?
Sure. It's a different process that you go through with that cultural center, but City Clerk, can you talk to that?
Yes, Council President, this liquor license, this resolution has to be rescinded due to the applicant renewing under an inactive liquor license. So once they receive the special ruling from the ABC, then we will approve their liquor license. So it has to be done in a separate manner.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not really clear on exactly what's happening. This is, first of all, is this for the State Theater or for the new Performing Arts Center? Do you know?
The Performing Arts Center has its own liquor license that's totally different.
Okay.
This was for the one that existed prior to, but now the liquor license is inactive. It's not being in use.
Right. So it's because the State Theater is closed right now that it's being rescinded?
Now, what the process, if I can help out here, Mr. Council President, the process is an inactive liquor license. Unfortunately, it was listed on all of the liquor license renewals at the time we did them in Toto, and it should not have been renewed at that time because the state ABC has to give us permission to renew it because it has been inactive. So once they give us permission, which is called a special ruling, we'll list it again for renewal. But yes, it's not active at that location at this time.
Gotcha. So what I'm hearing is this is, sorry, I was just saying this is to correct an error in previous, resolutions doing renewals. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Next one, right underneath that, LexisNexis for online access to accident reports. I'm a little confused, and I also have a complaint. I know the department does post the accident reports online, so I'm not totally sure why this service is necessary since you're just posting PDFs in various chunks. And also, I wanted to raise a concern that I've noticed that a lot of the major accidents, the serious ones, don't end up having the report posted. And so I've addressed this with Captain Miller, and I think at least one of them's been added. But I do know that, it's an incomplete posting on the website. And if we could only, make it complete, then maybe the LexisNexis would be unnecessary. But I'd like to hear from the police department on this.
Captain Miller, available?
Yes, the LexisNexis component is available. There is a fee for people to use it. It's used primarily by attorneys who like the option because you can, it has different search criteria. So instead of just having to hand search the PDFs like we post for free. As far as major accidents, they don't always make it on within the 7 to 10 days that most accidents are reported because they're major accidents and the investigations take longer to complete. And fatals and stuff have to get approval from the prosecutor's office and stuff like that, so they don't always get posted as well. All accidents are at the records room. If there is a specific accident that someone does need, you can come to the records room as well to get a specific accident, but we post the accidents online, the majority of everyone we can, so the public has free will to look at them and copy anything they need.
Thank you. So on just a follow-up, what's the cost to the city for the LexisNexis contract, if any?
There is no cost. None. Zero.
Okay. Thanks. I'll move on to number 18. Thank you, sir. I'll move on to number 18, Hoagland, Longo, Moran, Dunstan, Dukas, getting another chunk of funds from the taxpayers of New Brunswick. Can you tell me, why is this additional $70,000 necessary? And do you anticipate any more, expansion of the pay to Hoagland for this year?
Mr. Duchesneau, can you comment on that?
Yes, hi. The total budget for these services for this year is $225,000. This installment brings the total to $200,000. We do it in installments to avoid encumbering funds before they're needed.
Understood, Mr.
Okay.
Connell?
Yeah, I think I got that. I did want to ask about the outdoor dining. I see you're considering expanding it for, round the clock for, essentially starting Monday through the new year. Can you tell me, how that will impact things like transportation, buses, and also, just why you think this is the right way forward? I mean, are there going to be really a lot of people interested in outdoor dining in December? I have my view on that, but I'd like to hear yours.
Well, I think the downtown merchants would like to try it, and this sets up the first step in trying it. Also, if it's going to be cold, they'd like to use tents with heaters, so they'd like to try all that. So again, just the first step. We still have to go through a little process of the different departments and get their feedback on that. Okay.
Well, thanks for that. And then I did want to ask about the final resolution. It seems rather serious. This is related to the emergency appropriation that I believe is under the ordinances on first reading. And, what's the sort of logic behind this emergency? I think $6.75 million to fund a deficit. How did that $6.75 million deficit come to be, and why do you think this is the best way to address it?
Well, we've certainly lost some revenue in different places in the city, whether it be the hotel tax, parking, et cetera. So there's a possibility that we can put in this. We don't have to use it all, but we'll see. We think there's going to be some kind of deficit, but there might not be. So we still have a chance to change our mind. But we have these funds that would be available to us through banks or notes or something like that that we can put in. But we have to have it in by, I believe it's December 1st. So we have to do the first step of the process. Okay, Mr. Crandall, your time has expired. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, just one.
At the comments, we'll give you a next thing because we don't have too many people tonight. Okay. Next up will be Council, Madam Clerk.
Council President, the next person on the list is Ms. Danielle Moore.
Ms. Moore, you are up. If you could just give your name and address for the record.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Ms. Moore, go ahead. Your name and address for the record. That'd be good.
Danielle Moore, Birchwood Terrace Apartments on Hamilton Street.
Good
I would like,
with your area.
did you say something?
Just good luck with your move.
Oh, thank you. Believe me, I think it'll be much better than over there. Thank you very much.
Okay, go ahead.
Wanted to speak about number 11, that's regards with the State Theater with the liquor license.
Okay, as mentioned before, it was inadvertently put in with all the other licenses. Right now it's inactive because they're not doing anything. So we have to do this with a special process.
Okay, I understand that part, but one thing where I'm confused about, due to where you're saying that they're not doing anything, due to where the Middlesex County disapproved a month ago for about $6 million to redo the State Theater. So that's where I'm just getting a little confused. One, where you're saying you're taking that away, it's just like a mistake, meaning that, okay, it's not going to be used, but then I'm wondering why, if it's not going to be used anytime for the State Theater, I'm just confused. Why is the county putting in $6 million to redo the State Theater if it's not going to be used anytime soon?
It's just that it goes under the inactive list. It'll probably come back, I'm sure, but we had it on the active list and it should be on the inactive list.
Oh, okay. Like I said, this is confusing there. One is saying and the other one is saying two different things going on. But okay. And then as far as I'm not sure which number it was, I didn't get the papers today. That's with the budget where you were just talking about the $6.7 million.
Yes, there's probably a little shortfall that we can put in if necessary and borrow that money. Depending upon how far the shortfalls come. but it's just that we have to have it in, I believe, by December 1st, and so that starts the process if we need it later on.
I'd just like to ask you or Captain Miller, every time, where does the money goes towards due to I heard you say this is the cost of like parking and different things. When an officer writes out tickets for speeding, does the money go to the city?
Yes, but that's one of the problems is they haven't been collecting everything in municipal court. So that's been down a little bit. So we have to watch the revenue coming in.
So yes, the reason why I'm saying is that I'm pretty sure due to where, like I said, with the police department, wow, how you can speed whatever, do whatever you want, where you barely even see any police officers pulling anyone over, giving out tickets. Oh, I guarantee you, compared to out of the past 2 years of now, and how it was, oh, believe me, I'm positive. I know Captain Miller wouldn't show me who should show me the records to prove, like, wow, these officers, they don't even write tickets. So of course, I know the city is losing big money on that, not just because of the courts, that's because the officers, like I said, wow, they don't give out as many tickets as they used to because they don't care. But thank you, that's all I have to say.
That or they're getting better, maybe. Maybe the drivers are understanding a little bit better, too.
Not hardly.
Okay. What's next, Ms. Moore?
That'll be all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Moore. Madam Clerk, is that it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. We have a motion to approve the resolutions.
Motion to approve the resolutions?
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. We have some items for discussion by the council. First, we'll go to the OEM COVID-19 update report. Director Rawls.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right. Okay, COVID report for this council meeting. So unfortunately, as in line with the trends around the state, country, we are seeing increases in the number of cases in New Brunswick. And while these numbers are significantly less than in April and May, we're asking that everybody to remain vigilant, especially during this cold and flu season. Last week, the governor issued Executive Order 192. The order requires specific workplace safety standards. We recognize that many workplaces have already been implementing these measures, and the order now requires them in all places of work. Expect this tomorrow, November 5th. The upcoming next COVID tests are next Thursday, November 12th. You have to register on Monday, November 9th. This is at the Youth Sports Complex in Joyce Kilmer Avenue. And as always, the city continues to share updated information about COVID-19 on its website and social media. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. We also have a proposed 2021 City Council meeting schedule. I have it in front of me. It's the first and third Wednesdays of every month, including the fifth Wednesday in December as our end of the year meeting. And I think we'll probably keep our times at 5:30 until further notice. Anything else there, Mr. Shammy, that I should note?
No, Mr. Council President, the first and third Wednesdays work out quite well for 2021 with respect to the holidays. There's no conflicts And if this is the council's pleasure, I will prepare a resolution for a future meeting to adopt the 2021 meeting schedule as so provided.
Having spoken with the council members, I think that they're all okay with everything. If there's any objection, any council member have any objection to those dates and time?
No.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, very well.
Thank you. We have some ideas that the council members might have. We'll start with Vice President Suzanne Sikora Ludwig.
I don't have ideas or anything, but comments. Is that
Sure,
okay,
comment.
Council President?
Whatever you
first,
want.
Thank you. First, I just wanted to thank the administration, the NBFD, NBPD, and all the sponsors and volunteers who made the city Halloween a safe and festive success for our community. Then I wanted to remind everyone that Veterans Day is November 11th, and although we may not be able to reflect in the traditional manners of parades and gatherings, it is still momentous to honor the service and sacrifice of those who served in our armed forces to keep us safe and preserve our freedom. As so eloquently put by JFK, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. This year, especially, these words resonate an ideal that we should all follow. Always keep our veterans in your prayers. Next, I want to congratulate my running mates, Council President Anderson and Councilman Fleming, on our Election Day victory, affording us another term and opportunity to work hard for all the members of our community. I am proud to serve with you both. And to my constituents, I thank each of you for your continued support. Yesterday, my phone began to ring in the early morning hours, continually into today. So many people had the same message. Good luck, I support you, congratulations, and I voted for you, even though you had no opposition. To me, that is quite humbling. To have support and enthusiasm in spite of non-contention conveys a message of appreciation for my efforts. Local grassroots politics effectuates the greatest impact on our daily life. I will always work hard from the ground up to meet your needs and ensure that New Brunswick remains a welcoming, vibrant city for us all. That is all I have, Council President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Escobar, anything?
Just a few things. I just want to congratulate my colleagues on the re-election yesterday. I'm happy that you won, even though there was no opposition. I know that we will continue to work for the betterment of our communities. So congratulations. Also, I want to thank the city, Councilwoman Sikora Ludwig mentioned it. Saturday, I volunteered at the Halloween celebration for the community, and it was an excellent activity, well attended. The children had a lot of fun with all the candy and all the things that they received. I want to personally thank Ryan Berger, Clary, Judith at the mayor's office, the New Jersey PAC and the New Brunswick Cultural Center, the police, fire, and all the volunteers and other organizations that were there. It was excellent. I hope that we get to do it again next year because it was really well organized and an excellent activity for our community. And then lastly, we just approved today that Saturday there's a Date of the Day celebration in downtown New Brunswick. So inviting the community to participate Saturday between 11 and 3. They're going to have an altar. So I hope to see our community attended and have fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Egan, anything?
Yeah, just congratulations to the winners last night, to Rebecca, to Glenn and to Suzanne and to you, John. Congratulations. And hopefully after tonight, we'll have another bigger celebration if we can get rid of this current president. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Fleming, anything?
Yeah, just want to echo and offer my congratulations to my running mates and remind everybody to be safe. And just like something I was hearing when Joe Biden got up today, even though he hasn't been declared a winner, but we hope it goes one way, what it goes is the way, that we really need to tone down the politics and the atmosphere in this country, because I think this country is at a breaking point. You know, even though, we thought that you could just get rid of one person and things would calm down, but I think we're on a breaking point. We're seeing armed militias going in the buildings. We're seeing people running each other off the road. And I think just locally, we can set an example that politics doesn't have to be a blood sport. Just because you don't agree with somebody, that doesn't make them your enemy. You know, that doesn't make them a bad person. You know, we should be able to get along, you know, disagree with each other, but still get along, you know, so we're not demonizing each other. And I think that we just need to turn down the temperature in this country because things are at a breaking point. That's it.
Thank you, Councilman Fleming. I'd also like to congratulate everyone who was involved with the behind City Hall. Anytime that we can do something for the younger generation, it's always good there. And the older generation, the veterans, whether they're old or young or older, thank you for all your time served and those that are serving now, and try to remember them on November 11th, if not every other day too. Okay, that should take care of that. We're getting ready for the public comment. At this time, we're preparing to open the meeting to the public comment for up to 5 minutes per person. In order to assure that City Council can hear from the interested public, that the public can hear public comment, I will organize the speakers in order by last name. In a moment, I will unmute the public call-in. At that time, I'll ask you to provide me with your last name, and then after asking 3 times, I will then close the public comment portion. Please be mindful that your voice is being telephonically transmitted and to speak slowly and clearly for the benefit of all. I'll ask that you please remain silent when I initially unmute the phone so that we can all hear each other and then begin the speaker registration process. So we will unmute the phones at this time. Again, a reminder, all other members of the public will be muted in order to assure that the City Council can clearly hear and understand the recognized speaker. Okay, so we'll ask at this time if there are any members of the public who would wish to speak and
Unmuted.
And it's one time up. You have a total of 5 minutes. And we'll start with the letters A again. And so we'll go, if your last name begins with one of these letters, your last name, please shout it out. A, B, C, or D. E, F, G. H, I, J. K, L, M.
Charlie Cradaville.
And Mr. Cradaville, Ms. Moore, we have you. N-O-P. Q-R-S.
Dork.
Ms. Dork, okay. S-T-U-V. W, X, Y, and Z. All right, I'll ask for the second time, anybody, A through Z, if your last name starts with one of those letters, please shout out your name at this time. And asking for a third time, anyone A through Z. If you would like to make a public comment, please shout out your last name. Okay, having done that 3 times, we will close at this time. And we'll start, Madam Clerk, first up.
Council President, the first person on the list, Mr. Charlie Cradaville.
Okay, Mr. Cradaville, you're up.
Good evening, everyone. Charles Cradaville, New Brunswick, of course, with the news outlet New Brunswick Today. Just wanted to clarify the council meeting schedule. You guys are going to stick with 5:30 for the whole year for 2021. Is that correct?
That's correct. If there's any difference, then we will make another resolution at the time. But for now, it's the first and third Wednesdays of the month, 5:30, along with the 5th Wednesday in December to reorganize. Or end it,
Muted.
things like that.
Right. Okay. And so I want to just be clear that, you know, these meetings are now being held remotely over the phone because NJAC 5:39, you know, requires you guys to let the public in if you're going to hold a meeting in a city hall. So you can't have meetings in the lockdown city hall anymore. But I did notice that the planning board and the zoning board and the rent control board are using modern, you know, 21st century technology to allow people to have video, you know, meetings where people can participate remotely over video. And I think that's significantly superior to the audio only setup you've got going now. And my only question is why is the city council not availing themselves of that same technology to have video meetings and instead only doing audio meetings now?
I'm not sure about what the others do, but well, right now this is
Well, maybe I should have just asked, would you consider doing what the planning board does and having video meetings, starting with your next one?
Well, I don't know about the next one. I don't think we'll do it definitely at the next one, but we'll certainly take it under advisement, and I'll talk to some departments along with our lawyer and everybody else and everything.
I'm going to have to follow up on the Lincoln Annex situation. As you're well aware, there's a plan to build a replacement school. Can anyone on the council tell me when that school will be completed and open up?
My understanding, it'll be 3 years or less.
3 years or less from today would be November 2023. Okay. Concerned about the ability to meet that timeline because of some documents I saw. I went down to Trenton today to the Department of Environmental Protection and reviewed for the first time the records related to the contamination at 350 Comstock Street, which is part of the proposed new school site. And I'll just read very briefly this document dated February 8th, 2019. Contamination remains on site due to off-site contamination. Please be advised that contamination in the groundwater in this site exists above the groundwater quality standards, which may limit groundwater use at this site. I've only had a brief chance to review these documents, but I'm seeing things about polychlorinated biphenyls. I'm seeing volatile organic compounds. I'm seeing very concerning things about this site. So what is the plan and how can you expect to get a school built in 3 years or less if there's so much contamination that's still there? Do you know anything about the contamination that's there? Can you tell us anything about the cleanup efforts and any confidence that this school could potentially be built in 3 years or less?
Well, as you know, the New Brunswick Board of Education would handle most of that, but as I've said in the past, if the Department of Environmental Protection doesn't give it the okay, then they're certainly going to have to come up with a different plan.
Okay, and so if the plan is uncertain, and if there's no guarantee that they will be able to build the school on the site and build it within 3 years, why do you support giving up the current school and closing it and selling it, demolishing it?
Well, if we can get a better school at a good price, I think it's a good deal for everybody.
Right, but if the site's contaminated and it can't be remediated or it won't be remediated anytime soon, then wouldn't that be a bad deal for New Brunswick to give up the school that they have and be left with nothing?
Well, they don't have nothing. They can go out to the school that they're at. Remember, it's the same children that are very smart, a lot of the same teachers and administrators that are out there giving a good education no matter where they go.
Okay, so they would be in the warehouse then. They would be in 40 Van Dyke.
Well, my understanding is that's the plan until the next school is built.
Right. So it conceivably could be more than 3 years if the site's contaminated and the DEP doesn't give the okay, and they have to come up with a new plan. Quite frankly, the Board of Ed has done a poor job of handling this whole matter, so there's no reason to expect them to be able to, come up with a good plan. Finally, I just want to ask about Code Blue. I know that it's getting cold. We're talking about how COVID is affecting people, and gosh, it's really bad to have people living out on the streets in the cold weather during the flu season, potentially spreading the virus. I've spoken about the Code Blue program before, how it really should be an every night kind of thing, but at least on nights when it gets freezing, it should be open. But I'm told the last meeting, 25 or lower is going to be the threshold. Can Mr. Jones, speak on this call and say whether they're going to up that number, the 25 degrees, or are they sticking with 25, and where are they going to do it? Is it going to be at Unity Square again, or is it going to be someplace else? Keith wasn't sure.
Mr. Jones, do you want to speak on that?
Sure, Council President. As I stated in the last meeting, the plan right now is still to keep Unity Square based on all of the precautions and requirements we got to meet in terms of being able to allow people in there under the COVID restrictions. So there is a walkthrough that's been planned, and we're just gonna do what we can do and what we have been doing for the past several years.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jones.
Well, we need to do better. We need to do better, and it's already getting cold. So, I think we need to have shelter open very soon. And whether it's at Unity Square or multiple locations, please do it every night that it's freezing. Don't wait for it to get to sub-freezing, 20 degrees, 25 degrees. That's cruel. We need these shelters any night that it's freezing at a minimum. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cradaville. Your time has expired. Next up on the list.
Council President, the next person on the list is Ms. Danielle Moore.
Ms. Moore, you are up. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Danielle Moore, Brunswick Terrace. There's a lot of static going on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure you're hearing me. I will say to the city inspectors and to Mayor Cahill, as long as I've been living here, 43 years, New Brunswick has never been this situation with rodents. And Cahill and the inspector, they ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Where I was embarrassed last year to say, wow, at 333 Somerset, how it's not about beauty with keeping your property clean. But wow, and I showed you guys, some of you guys, the picture, that catch over 30 mice, how infested it is. And then wow, the same thing starting off again. Oh, and it's not just 333 Somerset Street. If all the neighbors would really come and speak up to you, where you see rats running up and down during the day. Come on, New Brunswick wasn't like this. All Mayor Cahill feels due to where, wow, if these owners pay their taxes, that's all he cares for. Where I think it should be better with these inspectors inspecting the houses and outside, due to where I'm in, it's extremely too many rodents, and I'm outrageous, where something needs to be done about it. And then I would also like to go, excuse me?
Okay, we'll pass that on along to the inspections department.
Oh, please, if you go to every door, I guarantee you will get the news. Because like I said, wow, catching that many rodents and seeing them running up the street is outrageous.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to question Mr. Jones on Code Blue. I would like to ask him questions, but I don't want him to kill my time, okay?
Okay.
Mr. Jones, at the last meeting, you said Code Blue would be 25 degrees, correct?
Yes, I can tell you that's correct.
Well, okay. Every time it's Code Blue, Mr. Jones.
Council President.
Hello?
Say again. Go ahead, Mr. Moore. Say again.
Every time it's Code Blue, Mr. Jones, are you the only one that opens up the door for Code Blue? Do you have to be there every time for Code Blue?
Mr. Jones?
Council President, can you hear me?
Yes, just answered that, her question.
Can you hear me?
have to be every time?
No, I don't.
Okay,
Hopefully,
go ahead,
so in the past, Code Blue has only been ran by me. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're okay, Ms. Moore?
Now I can hear
Hello?
you, yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Jones.
So let's correct some information first. So in the last meeting, Mr. Craddock asked me if.
Okay, we'll
no,
wait
I hope I'm not killing your time either. I love speaking to you. So
off on at the
the
end
last meeting was Mr. Craddock asked me.
Ms. Moore, any other questions?
I asked a question. I just asked Mr. Jones does he have to be there every time that Code Blue is called?
He never.
He answered, he said no, that he does not. The answer is no.
And the reason why I'm concerned on that, due to where are you planning to keep code blue 25 degrees throughout the whole winter?
At this time, it's 25 degrees, yes.
And the reason why I'm saying that due to where I did the last
It's not
year,
25 degrees.
we set at 25 degrees, and then it was put back to 20 degrees. That was where this was on January 2nd, 2020, January 15th, 2020, where Mr. Cradaville asked you, and as well on the March 4th, Mr. Charlie Cradaville spoke to you about code blue, where how you put it at 25 and then you put it back to 20 again. So this
Okay, your time expired.
Yeah, so if I was,
Roll that up.
Be for real. He used my time. Be for real. I had to wait just to hear him, and you're going to say I killed my time? Be for real.
No, thank you, Mr. Moore. Mr. Jones, you have more to say?
I do. I just want to clear the air. So for the last council meeting, Mr. Cradaville asked me, would it be 25? And I told him, as my recollection, I think we moved it to 25. I was not certain that we moved it to 25. So I don't want the record to reflect that we are guaranteed 25 degrees on today. And it's keep being stated, and that's false information. If you listen to the last call, I said, I think, according to my recollection, but don't quote me, it was 25 degrees. We've been operating at 20 degrees for the past several years. So I don't want people to go out here with wrong information. And that was the reason why the 25 degrees was only for a couple of days in conjunction with Howland Park. Once Howland Park reneged on their part of the bargain, we went back to our 20 degrees. Now, if we're in the situation this season to be able to up it to 25, and that's in terms of manpower, that's in terms of what's happening on the county level, that's in terms of what's happening with COVID, then we will do that. But we are exploring every option. But I don't want it to be left tonight with the wrong information being put out there.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jones, for clarifying that. Appreciate that. Ms. Moore, did you have another question?
I would like to say that he's the one that said at the last meeting that it was 25 degrees. It's on video. That was when Charlie Cradaville asked him. He's the one that said it. That's why, like I said, I'm so glad everything is recorded due to where you can see what goes on. But then, yes, I do have one question for Council Member Escobar. Are you available?
I'm sure she is.
I'm here.
By any chance, or are you related to Isaac Escobar? Isaiah?
No, I don't have any family. No, I don't have any family in New Brunswick with the last name of Escobar. My family lives in Puerto Rico.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Moore. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, we have somebody else.
Yes, Council President. The next person on the list is Ms. Stork.
Okay, Ms. Stork.
Unmuted.
An address for the meeting?
Yes,
For the record, rather?
Yes, good evening.
Yes, Ms.
Muted.
So, yeah, 20 degrees, it's freezing. I'm pretty sure somebody would, die if they went to sleep when it was 20 degrees all night. But anyway, that's not really a question. I question, okay, so my first question is, when you try and look up an accident on the website, if you don't have a report, I just want to know what happened over here by my house where a car came in the middle of the morning across the oncoming traffic lane coming out of St. Peter's parking lot, completely took down, sheared off a street sign, went right over the sidewalk where people walk their kids and their dogs and everything into the front yard of the house. And then we never heard anything about it. So I tried to look it up on the website, but it's not clear unless you're looking for an accident report, like that you had an accident and you know all the information. How can I find out what happened?
Captain Miller?
And if there's a specific incident, you can always just call the records room and request a copy of the report, as long as it doesn't fall under some of the parameters where reports cannot be released. There are specific incidents where you cannot release certain reports, but as long as there does not fall under those parameters, you can make a request to the records room and get a copy of that report. If you have the date, the time, the location, they can look that stuff up for you.
Yeah, I don't even remember the exact date. I
Does that answer your question,
we
Mr.
would hear
Stork?
something about it, but we never did hear anything about it. So, not to mention, not only that, we didn't hear anything about the shooting a couple blocks over. That horrendous, like, gangland-style shooting where they jumped out of the car and shot a whole bunch of people, but then we never heard anything, just like it never happened. But that
Well, it's still in progress, Mr. Stork, so they're working on it.
Well, I understand that, but it would be nice to,
Ms. Stork, are you referring to
a word or two. Pardon me?
Yes, Captain, that shooting there.
Is
You didn't just ask me which.
Ms. Stork referring to the shooting on Delafield Street?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, have we had other mass shootings I didn't know about in the last month? No.
No,
Yes.
he's just trying to clear it up there, but that's what she's talking about, Captain. Go ahead.
I just want to get to the place. Is Ms. Stork referring to the shooting on Delafield Street? Is that what she's referring to?
Yes.
Yes.
So, did Captain Miller say anything about it? Because I can't.
The shooting is an investigation.
We're breaking up a little bit more. Go ahead, Captain Miller.
That investigation is still under investigation. We're making progress. And, when the time is right to announce information, we will. As I've said at other meetings, prematurely discussing cases can hinder the outcome of the investigation. And I'd rather, have a outcome with arrests and complaints made instead of tipping our hand on how we're working this case.
Thank you.
I know, it would just be very reassuring to hear something, even that you're working on it, if the public has any information, call this number or whatever. Just like it didn't just, disappear or like, I don't know. It's just weird to not hear anything all these weeks later.
It didn't just.
Yeah. Okay. So my other question was about, I questioned the description of this better school that we're going to get, because it's not in a better place for our kids, and it's not a better size for our kids. In fact, we talked about how smart they are. Yes, they are so smart, but they also are from lower socioeconomic groups and minority children, and it has been proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that huge schools negatively impact the achievement of these particular groups. So how is that better for us? It's not. The school that we have is in a better place and it's a better size, and those are things that it doesn't help their achievement either to be uprooted, shipped out to Van Dyke, and then the whole uncertainty of when they would come back. Not to mention the fact that we're tearing something down with a great HVAC system, COVID-wise, and we're keeping buildings that have questionable HVAC systems because they're 100 years old. It's just the whole idea of tearing down something perfectly good that the taxpayers just spent $22 million on. It's crazy, and it's not a bargain. It's to the detriment of our kids. So yeah, I should accept into the description of that as a better school.
Okay.
And I might have just missed
quickly.
Okay, where is the money coming from? The shortfall that was approved in the resolution. I didn't get where that money was coming from.
Well, it's there if we need to go out for it, if the revenues from municipal court, parking authority, all those other ones are really down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we can put it there.
I know, but where is so that's where you're gonna get it from? Where are you getting the money from?
Mr. Mulrine, can you answer?
So this ordinance sets up the authorization for us to have these funds available. It would have to be through a borrowing procedure, either through, through the market or through a bank type situation. It'd be a borrowing.
Oh, okay, that's
Thank
what
you.
I wasn't, if that was said before, I missed that. Okay, thank you. And
Okay,
just
no
real
problem.
quick, the
Thank you,
hour
Ms.
has
Clerk.
not been changed on the website. The hour of the meeting has not been changed on the website. Remember I brought it up last time?
Okay.
They
Mr.
still
Barron,
say
could you take care of that,
6:30
please?
Yeah. Okay, that's it,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. For that. All right. Madam Clerk, I believe that's everybody.
Yes, Council President.
We have
Motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn?
Second.
roll call.
Councilmember Eaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Sikora Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Good night.
Ryan Cahill.